There's a way to sell your home quick, and there's a painful way to sell your home. Whether you decide to make it painful for yourself or whether you decide to take your profits quickly, it's up to you. And I'm gonna run through this entire build, and I'm gonna explain to you the pain points of the completion of this build that need to get taken care of immediately in order to resell this property at the highest return and the least amount of days on the market. Because the least amount of days on the market and the highest return bear you the largest profit and the lowest liability. And at the end of the day, we're not building these for fun, we are building these for profit. This is a student's home that I'm critiquing the entire build to help them mitigate the amount of days on the market and the quickest return on investment possible. Come join me, let's critique this house, let's tear it apart, and let's get this house sold for profit, but let's do it now. Come join me. Okay. So look guys, and this may not be a big deal to some people, but if you use a wood grain product, make sure that your wood grain matches throughout the house. Now, here, I love what they did with the kitchen. The kitchen looks beautiful. The appliances are of high quality. The cabinets are gorgeous. They have soft close hinges and they're all dovetail. Everything, the quality of the cabinets are gorgeous. The only problem with the cabinets is the fact that the center island, the wood grain doesn't match the wood grain in the rest of the house. So if you look at the ceiling fans up here, we got more of like a red oak going on the ceiling fans, but yet we got more of a white birch going on the center island. You don't want to use a white birch and then use red oak. You want to be able to go in and use white birch, use something that's close to white birch on your ceiling fans. If you're going to do a wood accent like this, use that same wood accent. If you're going to do beams or any other type of wood accents, if you do a front door, back door, or anything that has wood, take the palette from this island and utilize that stain color to stain the rest of your wood to match, complement, and accent any of your other pieces of wood throughout your house. Now, there is an exception to that when you're doing it strategically, but if you only have one piece, like a ceiling fan, that doesn't match, then the home buyers know that you compromise the overall finish of the trim out based on what you were able to find and didn't take the care to give it that custom piece and that custom feel that is needed in order to trim out your cabinets, your wood, and all of your finish work strategically and smart. Okay. This is a nice butler's pantry. They should have put some base cabinets in this butler's pantry. Gorgeous butler's pantry, but they either should have done some overhead shelving, because now someone buys an $850,000 home, they got to come dump another $10,000 in the cabinets. Or at the time that you do it, it might cost you an extra $5,000 to do it, but this will sell your home. You need to have cabinets in your pantry. Floorings look nice, doors are nice. I love the swing doors. It's a nice little feature to the pantry. Your finished paintwork and all these little details are really important, ladies and gentlemen. We'll go in and blue tape all of this stuff. We'll blue tape this, these nails, these finish and trim nails. All that stuff needs to get done. Even where this wood doesn't match right here, all that stuff needs to be caulked and leveled out. All this stuff, these imperfections in the wood need to be puttied. And you run through the entire house and you wood putty every single piece of this, and you require that from your painters. Because if your painters get away with it on this house, they're going to get away with it in other houses too, or they're going to feel that you're being unreasonable the second that you require it after you've made it acceptable on other houses. Okay. How do you turn off those lights? There it goes. Okay. Cool. Okay, let's turn this off. I have to go through this. Okay, barn door features look nice. I like the barn door features. Now, I'll tell you one way to make more money on your builds. The used solid core shaker doors on every single door. This door package costs $5,000 more than it should have. If they would have used the 5-panel hollow core doors that look almost identical to these, they would have saved about $5,000. That $5,000 could have been placed in that pantry in cabinets. So how you position your money, it doesn't cost you any more to build the house. But if you look at MTV Cribs, you look at every $1 million, $2 million, $3 million home, 90% of them have hollow core doors on the interior of them. And if they're good enough for $1 million, $2 million home, nobody in all the years that I've been building, in 28 years, has ever commented on my hollow core doors. Not one time out of hundreds upon hundreds upon hundreds of homes. The first 3 homes we built, we used these beautiful knotty pine doors that were solid core. No one ever even complimented them. No one ever said anything. And I happened to be watching MTV Crib one day, and I noticed that I was watching like Shaq in his house with cheap doors. I remember looking at Michael Jordan's house, and Michael Jordan's house, same bullshit, just hollow core doors. And I was like, damn, these celebrities are buying these $3-4 million homes with these cheap hollow core doors, and I'm putting in these expensive ones. If they're good enough for these multi-million dollar homes on MTV Cribs, they're good enough for my houses. And so I switched to hollow core doors at that time over 20 years ago, and we're still putting hollow core doors today, and not one person's ever commented on the doors. But they will comment on the fact that you don't have cabinets in the pantry. So you have to make sure that you pay attention to what is truly important for your end buyer. Trim out on the bathroom's nice. We need glass shower doors here. Glass shower doors. Outside of the shower doors, everything else looks pretty. Everything else looks nice. Make sure that you require your plumbers to trim all this stuff out. Plumbers and electricians have to trim this stuff out. They sell these cheap little plastic trim out boxes for your washer dryer boxes and for your gas plugins that are real inexpensive, and just trim out your house and make them look really, really nice. When you go in and you trim your home out, require that of your plumbers and your electricians to trim. Everything should have a trim. You should never see exposed sheetrock. There's no cabinets in the closet. Okay. You guys have to put cabinets in your closet. For $2,500, you can build out shelves. It costs $2,500 for real wood. It's particle wood. But what we do right before, when we do our sheetrock, we have our shelving guys come in, and it costs us about $2,500 to $3,000 for an entire house. And what we'll do is we just use particle wood, and they, instead of using like Californian closets that are cheap and ugly and all those wire closet systems, you come in with real wood, and you build out your closet systems, shoe shelves, clothes rods for pants, for dresses. Then you do shirt racks and shirt rods for shirts and short stuff. And for $3,000 to do a 3-bedroom, 4-bedroom house, priceless. And you do it right before your painters come in. It costs you nothing additional for paint. The only thing it costs you is the lumber and the labor to actually install the wood systems for your closets. Okay, bathrooms look nice. Now, gold is really popular right now, ladies and gentlemen. Gold is really popular right now. Only problem with gold is that it's coming in different tones. So when you trim out your houses, make sure that you know what the tones are of your gold, so that, or put it by each other, because you want to make sure that all of your trim items actually match. And that faucet's crooked and it's not centered. You need to center the tub or center the faucet, one or the other. That's not as much of a big deal, but you do need to center that tub. Showers look nice. This is a fix and flip. This gentleman, he's a great guy, does tons of fix and flips, but you can't build a new home like you do a fix and flip. Fix and flip, you're trying to cut your margins, do as little amount as possible. You're putting lipstick on a pig and you're trying to sell the damn thing for a profit. New homes, you're giving somebody an experience. And when you give them an experience, these buyers are sophisticated buyers. No one's buying an $850,000, $900,000, $1 million home that isn't do well and doesn't have some type of sophistication level to them. So you have to make sure that you entertain that sophistication level with detail. They got real fancy with the electrical and left out trim line. Be careful what you spend your money on, guys. I mean, this stuff is all fancy, it's nice, but save your money here, put in just a normal light switch, save your money here, and put it into the detail work on the finish and trim work. We got beautiful mountain views over here, gorgeous mountain views. These windows are great, but they should have done 2 small ones here, take both of these 2 out, and done 1 big, giant picture window here. So when people walk in, the first thing they see is the view of that mountain right there. The view of that mountain will sell this house. You don't even need these custom features. They're a waste of money. But if you're going to put them in, you got to make sure that they're finished out, guys. They has to be caulked, has to be trimmed. You can't see any of this stuff in here. All that detail shows the quality behind what you do. All right, guys. Dining rooms are very important when you're doing your floor plans, okay? So when you're doing these, you need 12-foot minimum for a 6-person table. This one's plenty wide. I can already tell. 1, 2, 3. You need 3 feet of walk space. That's only 12 feet. I mean, this is only 9 feet, 10 feet maybe. So you need 2 more feet. It's worth bumping out a wall 2 feet in order to get a dining room. I had houses that sat for months because the dining rooms are too small. This house is big enough that this probably won't be an issue, but I tell you guys this so you don't make the mistake of doing your dining rooms too small. It's a beautiful home, gorgeous size. It's 2,900 square feet. Make it 2,940 square feet and just bump the wall out 2 feet in order to absorb a larger kitchen area. Make sure that before you list a house, guys, that you guys go through this. If you guys are using vinyl windows, which is what I encourage you guys to use, that you get a cleaning person to come through here and take all the imperfections off of these, clean off all the drywall, the paint, and make sure that they clean the windows. Never sell a house without cleaning the interior and exterior of your windows. If you're going to do backsplashes in your kitchen, and this is an extension of your kitchen, make sure that you're doing the same backsplashes in your desk areas too. That way it ties the whole kitchen together. Ties the whole kitchen together. Okay, let's look at the guest side of the house over here. Make the painter paint the electrical panel in the interior and exterior. The exterior panel needs to get painted as well. Shower doors, both bathrooms. The house is beautiful, bro. You did a great job, but the detail items, this is what's going to sell the house. It's a beautiful home, but you got to run back through this. You need a Bobcat guy to come clean up the concrete around the house and do finished grade work. You need to raise your cleanouts on the side of the house above grade and cut them down to grade once you do your final grade. All that concrete around the entire perimeter needs to get cleaned up. And you need to clean all these weeds up before you list the house. No casement windows, bro. Don't be putting these casement windows. They're too fucking expensive. Okay. It's okay to put operable windows inside the house, but one way to save on your windows is to not use casement or awning windows. Use single hung and sliders. They're not going to take away from the overall value of your home, but they're going to increase your bottom line and your profitability. All of this, guys, you have to trim this out. This is a clean out. It's a plumbing clean out that they put. Why they put a plumbing clean out here, I have no idea. But for whatever reason, there's trim out pieces where you extend that out of the wall, you do a flat piece on the trim out, and it's clean. You could even do it stainless steel, or you can just do paint grade. But just trim it out. Again, right here for the water for the refrigerator, trim that out. Get a trim plate. Big ass garage. It's awesome. Garage is awesome. The garage is awesome. Probably more than you need it to do, but it's a great looking garage. The garage might actually sell the house, bro. Make sure you guys clean up the paint in the garage where it's splashed. Get this. You hear that? The door's not right. You gotta get that stuff fixed before you sell your house. One person comes in, they do that. They think all your doors are like that. They're not plumbed right. You gotta get your door guys to come in and get that shit fixed. The door guys needs to come back and make sure all these doors are leveled correctly. Your garage door coming into the house is rubbing. The video is about is what detail items you need to sell your home for maximum price and even just sell your home in general, okay? Because if you don't do this stuff, your house won't fucking sell. It won't fucking sell. Period. You know, and it's little stuff. It's like this stuff. Like when you see exposed wood like this, like the stucco should wrap all the way to the box, all the way to the box. We laugh and do everything. Then we mount the box straight to the stucco and we have the backing behind it. So you don't see all this bullshit. But if you're going to do this stuff like this and you have this on the paint everything, including the box, Paint your loggia, because this looks cheap. And sorry, this is gray, that's wood, that's stucco, that's a different color gray. You have 4 colors all in one bullshit with exposed nails and everything. That just doesn't look like quality. And it's the first fucking thing that people see when they're coming up from the road is this bullshit right here. And so the biggest thing is position yourself where I usually try to put these where nobody sees them. So I would put this on the back side of the house. That way you don't even see it. Because the first thing people see, it's first impressions. Mentally, it's all first impressions. To me, the house already looks cheap just from driving up to it. So at least now on the back end that it's done, paint it, make it look nice. At least paint the damn thing, you know, get that thing painted. Okay, let's walk the exterior of this thing, okay? Finished grade, guys. Finished grade is important. Nobody wants to see construction debris. You have to rake up all of this construction debris. Don't leave this construction debris at the end of construction. It looks unfinished. It looks half-assed. Like, you don't take a shit and not wipe your ass and walk around with shit on your ass. So if you don't walk around without wiping your ass, then wipe your ass when you're done building your houses. This is like taking a shit and not wiping your ass. So if that's the type of results you want to walk around smelling like shit, then don't wipe your ass. But if you want to return and you want to make money, then wipe your ass. Clean up your shit. This house is for sale. So clean it up. Get all this shit raked up, throw it away. No new home buyer wants to see the shit hanging off your ass. They want it clean. You're gonna clean the whole thing up. They still got 2 weeks worth of shit to clean up here. Now, another thing that we do in this, look guys, when you finish building a house, especially right now, because one of the big things is we're in the Southwest, we do a lot of flat roof houses. You got the dirt and then this thing splashes into your stucco. Concrete products are porous. So what ends up happening is all this is porous. It stains your brand new stucco, which on a brand new home, especially a light colored home like this, it stains it and makes your brand new home look old and dated. So what we do is we just simply put 3 feet of gravel along all the perimeters of our houses. When we do our finished landscaping, we grade everything really nice and we just put 3 feet of gravel around our foundations with a little bit of filter fabric, weed fabric, just to hold our subgrade in place so it doesn't erode, and it prevents all of that backsplash and it keeps your brand new home looking brand new. And it also protects your product from the elements of the weather and makes your product hold together long-term for your clients. That's your reputation that you need to stand behind, okay? Because you get one chance to have a good reputation. Once you ruin it, to gain it back is catastrophic. It's a nightmare. Okay, now paint all this stuff. Don't leave any of this stuff that's natural colors. That stuff should all be painted the color of the house. That looks like shit. Gas meter can stay. And then before you list your homes, guys, come out here, hose down your windows with a water hose, and then get a cleaning company to come in and clean all these windows, guys. Clean all that stuff. If you can't afford a cleaning person, fucking clean it yourself. A cleaning person costs less than $1,000 to clean it, to do construction cleanup. Again, all this cement, all this needs to get cleaned up. What we typically will do is we'll get a grinder and we'll cut all this stuff off because it looks cheap. It just looks like unfinished when you have all this cement and concrete on all these footings. So what we'll do is we'll come in and we'll take all this and clean all of this up. Every bit of this stuff gets cleaned up. We'll come through this and we'll clean all of this shit up right here. Okay, now, one thing, use one trim color. Guys, you should never have more than 4 colors on your home. 4. That means like if you have an exterior facade, like stucco siding, that's one color. If you have window trim, this is a second color. If you have trim on your soffits, garage doors and doors, that's another color. And then if you have a stone accent or brick accent, that's a 4th color. That's it, guys. Typically we'll do 3, sometimes we'll push 4, never get more than 4 colors. So this house has 5 colors right now. We have the stucco color, we have the window siding color, we have this door color that's white, then we have the garage doors that are black, then we have an accent color. That's 5 colors, too many. These doors, either the garage doors need to be painted white or these doors need to be painted the same color as the garage doors. All the trim and doors on the exterior need to be painted the same color if it's paint grade. Don't go more than 4 colors on your exterior facade. Okay. They overpaid for these. Unless you're in an area where every house has doors like this right here is a waste of money. It's a waste of money. This door right here was probably over $3,000, maybe $4,000 for this door. It's a beautiful door and it's a high quality slider, but you can get an 8-foot tall slider that is the size of this right here and get a fixed glass window on the right side and a fixed glass window on the left side and half the price. Half the price. This door right here, you get the same damn door. Just get a slider, same damn door, but you just do it where it's just the centerpiece, and that door will cost you $1,800, and these windows will cost you $300 instead of spending $4,000 or $5,000 on a back door. You'll never make that money back out. That comes out of your bottom line. It's a waste of money. Don't do it. Finished grade, guys, finished grade, really important. Homeowners want to feel as though the house is taken care of. If you have inconsistency in your grade, it's going to worry people about erosion. When an inspector comes out here, the first thing they're going to mention is about erosion and the foundation. You want to take all your dirt and you want to grade all this out so that that way it has a finished facade and finished look that has an even grade to it. Those cleanouts are too low. They left a hole to account for the lack of height on those cleanouts. Go out, get a 4-inch extensions, pull those things up, grade them level, then cut them after you get your finished grade on and put your caps back on them. But none of this stuff should be compromised based on your finished grade. You need to get a little bobcat out here, pay a guy $500-600 to come in, cut your weeds, and do a final grade on your entire project. Okay, soffits and finish out, guys. Soffits and finish out. You guys see this stuff up here? You guys see that? That's exposed lumber right there. That over time is going to rot, and that's going to fall apart. That's going to rot. It's going to fall apart. We got all this unpainted soffit out here. All this, and they may not just be done. This all needs to get painted. All that needs to get painted. This needs to be sealed and painted. All this needs to be sealed and painted. That needs to be caulked, and the elements of the weather need to be taken out of that, because what happens is there's going to be ice dams that come in the wintertime over here. And when those ice dams thaw and freeze, they suction around and they go into every nook and cranny, like all these spots, and then they land up heaving the wood, and then the wood lands up falling off the house. That'll even cave in interior sheetrock if you're not careful. So make sure that all your exterior is caulked, finished, and trimmed out like all professional painters do, respectfully so, on new builds. This is the shit I'm talking about right here. Usually we do what's called a bump down with 2x6s, and we fur that down 6-inch, double plated, so usually 3-inch fur down, and that way it protects your sheetrock and it protects your under facade, because anytime you get moisture, it's going to come under that sheetrock. It's going to damage it 100% of the time. That's now is going to need to get wrapped in metal. Like he's going to have that's going to have to get wrapped in metal. I like the house. Chandelier is a little small, but it's okay. That's the least of my worries. If you're gonna put wood on these houses, this $850,000 house, spend $100 on a friggin' massive wood beam right there. Make it look like a mantle, but make it look badass. This just looks cheap, so we just wanna, make it look badass, guys. Make it look badass. Great looking fireplace, though. Great looking fireplace. The finish assessment is it's a beautiful home, but there's always room for improvement. You are going to be your biggest critic. Listen to your customers. If you don't listen to your customers, you'll never sell as many homes as you can quick enough. One of the biggest things, you can build a beautiful home, but if you cut yourself short of the finished trim items that it takes to actually sell the house, you'll cost yourself time, money, and otherwise compromise profits. So like I always told my kids, you don't run to the finish line, you run through the finish line. When you're in a race, you run as hard as you can through the finish line. Most people will see the finish line, and as soon as they see the finish line, they start slowing up before they get to the finish line. That's 90% of people in life. When you learn how to focus on an object 100 yards past the finish line and you run full speed through the finish line, you'll succeed in everything that you do. I did that little task with my son when he was 8 years old, and we sat there for 2 hours one night at a park. And I said, this is the finish line. Don't focus on the finish line. Focus on this tree 40 yards past the finish line. Run to that tree. And for 2 hours, he slowed down before the finish line. For the rest of his life, he'll remember that 2 hours, because every single time after that, when he tried cutting himself short of what he was supposed to be doing in gymnastics and football and life and anything, I said, hey, Jacob, you remember that time we took you to the park? I said, you remember that time that we sat there and you probably ran 100 times to the finish line? And I told you, we're not leaving until you run full speed through this finish line and you focus on this tree. It took him about 100 tries. And it just so happens that's the way your brain works too. And the reason I did that exercise with my son, and the reason I'm telling you this today, is because until you learn how to run through the finish line at full speed, you'll never maximize your profits and you'll never secure the highest rate of return you can. So at the end, when you get lethargic, tired of babysitting and nursing subs, and you want to throw in the towel, that's where you continue driving and pressing the details through the finish line to maximize your profits. For more videos just like this, to learn how to buy land, build houses, and crush profits fast and effectively, then click and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Pound that thumbs up button, but don't forget to leave your comments below and let me know how I can improve what I deliver to you and what you are in need of to continue compounding your success. And if you're watching this for a second time, put #repeat. Until next time, click and subscribe, and I'll see you on the other side.